What is the relationship between narcissism and codependency? Because these two topics are often talked about together. How does one complement the other? And as a codependent, are you destined to attract narcissists throughout your life? Let's find the answers to all of these questions in today's episode. Hi, I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional, and today I'll be talking about why codependents and narcissists are a toxic fit. If that makes you curious, make sure that you're subscribed to this channel by pressing that subscribe button and push that bell icon so that you stay updated with everything latest that I post here. So let's get started and break down the traits, behaviors of both of these classifications in order for us understand why narcissists and codependents are a toxic fit. When it comes to narcissists, they are absolute takers. They just focus on one thing, and that is taking supply from others, wanting others to give so that they can keep filling the emptiness and void within them. You can imagine them like a parasite, like a leech that has to attach itself to someone's body to keep sucking the blood, otherwise, it cannot exist. So, they are major takers, and that is why they exploit others and go to any level they can to just get others do what they want them to do. But on the other hand, if you were to compare this with codependents, they are exact opposites of what narcissists are when it comes to taking. Codependents are absolute givers. When it comes to codependents, they give beyond limits and self-sacrifice because they want the approval. They want someone to accept them. They want someone to help them heal the deep emptiness and void. So both of them, narcissists as well as codependents, have the void within them, but the manifestation and the behaviors are very, very, very different. So this is the first dynamic, which I call taker-giver dynamic, which makes these two types a toxic fit, because narcissists are takers and codependents are absolute givers. The second thing is that narcissists think that they are infallible, meaning every time there is a problem, it is always someone else's mistake, someone else's doing, except them. It is never their fault, never their problem, and they are the victim always. So this makes them as what I can call as a blame shifter, and they shift all of the blame onto the others, which is why they are known as major projectors. They do the projection onto the others so that others are the abusers and the narcissist, him or herself, is the victim of the abuse. You would see, or if you have been a survivor of narcissistic abuse, it is your experience that every time anything happened in the relationship, be it with your parent or your partner or any other dynamic, it was always your fault. They always made it to be your fault. Nothing was wrong with them. And this is where the concept of false self comes in. This false self that they have, that they are hiding behind, it is what they have to keep intact. And the idea of false self is to believe that the problem isn't me, the problem is other people, this and that, except me. So this is what happens here. But if you were to compare this as well with codependents, they are the blame acceptors. Codependents have this deep belief about themselves that they are deeply wrong or bad, because that is how they were treated in their childhood by their primary caretaker. And they, as a child, started to believe that it is their fault, which is why they are being treated this way, and which is why they have to accept all the blame for them to be accepted or just seen. And this is where the blame shifter and the blame acceptor dynamic comes into the picture. The narcissist shifts the blame, and the codependent, without any boundaries and conscious awareness and this deep belief that I am the faulty one, they just accept it, which is why codependents are more prone to keep trying, keep doing, keep improving in the relationship. And this is what, in other words, is called trauma reenactment, where the codependent is replaying the childhood trauma in this situation, the childhood traumatic patterns, and the whole thing continues, and it's very toxic from both the sides. The number third is apathy empathy dynamic. Narcissists run away from emotions as fire runs away from water, because narcissists see emotions as a sign of weakness. There is no place of an emotion, a true felt emotion, in a narcissist's life. They have to suppress them, and they continue doing so, which is why they do not feel nothing about themselves and their inner experience, and that is the absolute dissociation. And that plays a role in the external interaction, emotional interaction with the other people, meaning they do not feel nothing towards or about the people they are hurting. And in simpler words, you can call it the absolute lack of empathy and concern. Now that they do not feel the empathy and the concern or the compassion and the care truly for the other person, they just keep doing the things that they do without giving a damn about how that has an impact on the other person, and they intensify the abuse as the time passes in the relationship. But if you were to look on the other side, you were to look on the codependent's personality, you would find that they are empaths, or the empathy is limitless. The empathy is there, but without awareness of how it is having an impact on their life and how it is keeping them stuck in the narcissistic relationship. Now that the codependent has this limitless empathy, this pushes them to keep giving and showing concern and trying more and more, and the narcissist keeps taking that without giving or reciprocating anything back to the codependent. And here it is important to understand that other trauma patterns and the traumatic beliefs may play a role as well, and may repeat themselves as the relationship goes on. Meaning, if the primary caretaker or the parent of a codependent child never reciprocated love, and the codependent child had to give more, try more, self-sacrifice more, this would happen again in the adult relationship, and that the trying, the giving would be absolutely, completely, totally invalidated by the narcissist, because it would not be reciprocated. The codependent would not see any kind of emotion being reciprocated by the narcissist, which would push them to try more, because this is what they know from their childhood. So these three are the major dynamics that make narcissists and codependents and the relationship between them a toxic fit, and why they are like a complement to each other. It is important to understand at this point as well that I do not mean to victim blame or say that the codependents cause it to themselves, or someone's trauma is responsible for getting them abused, or for them to be in an abusive relationship. The fact is that it does play a role, but it is not a victim's or the survivor's fault. It's not their fault that they were abused. It is someone choosing to be abusive, which is why you were abused. So this is very important to understand. I hope today I was able to help you understand how both of these types have things common but act differently, and the actions are like a toxic fit, like made for each other kind of thing, and how this goes on for a long time, and how it becomes really hard for both of these types to disengage and disconnect from each other, and why codependents stay in the relationship for a longer time. I also would like to talk about the online workshop that I'm doing on May 15th and May 18th. And in this workshop, I'll be talking about how to heal and release the complex and complicated grief after narcissistic abuse, because there is so much loss involved in such a relationship that it feels like you are carrying a mountain over your shoulders and you do not know how to put it away. So, if that sounds interesting, and if you're curious to learn more and to know how to work through this grief, and so that you can move on in your life and recover fully, I would strongly recommend booking your seat. And how you can do that is by clicking the link in my bio and just booking your slot right away. Or if you're watching this video on YouTube, just go to the description. I will be pasting a link there. Just click it and book your slot. I'll talk with you very soon in the next episode. Till then, let the healing begin.